Meet the team members, Dr. Hagelin. Marty Grizzle.
Garrett Riley.
Sam Martin.
We had such a good semester! The purpose of our experiment was to find the coefficient of restitution and compare it to pressure. We were able to do this by constructing a device that simulated a consistent real-life kicking motion and used video analysis to determine the velocity after impact. After finding the velocity, we were able to solve for the coefficient of restitution. Through statistical analysis, we determined that our data was statistically significant.
Through statistical tests, we were able to determine that the kicking device was consistent. The average velocity of a soccer ball after impact was 337 inches per second, with a standard deviation of 4 inches per second at a constant pressure. We also conducted 10 trials at a high PSI and 10 trials at a low PSI to determine if there was a statistical difference between the velocities at impact at low and high pressures. From our analysis, we were able to conclude that there is a statistical difference in the velocities after impact at low and high pressures.
We recorded the impact event with a GoPro at 120 frames per second. From there, we calculated the velocity of the soccer ball after impact by video analysis. We explored the relationship between velocity and pressure and found that there is a linear relationship between the two. Since the coefficient of restitution and the velocity after impact are directly proportional, the same relationship holds true for the coefficient of restitution. We found the R-squared value to be 0.8217, which shows a strong correlation between the data.
In our transient analysis section, we spent time observing the acceleration effects on a human foot in comparison to our axe pendulum. Our results concluded that the axe head accelerated with a maximum of about 4 Gs, which was only about half of the acceleration of our human kick. Although we had distortion in our signal on some kicks, we were able to apply a digital filter to our results and ultimately determine that the max acceleration was about 8 Gs for a human kick. In accordance, we determined that the Wii remote sensor maxed out at about 8 Gs, and thus we likely maxed out our sensor. Therefore, we were able to conclude that an actual soccer kick is likely to exceed 8 Gs.
After performing all the required parts of this project, we checked out the Phantom high-speed camera and went back to take another look. We used the Phantom camera at 1,000 frames per second to record impacts of both the kicking device and an actual soccer player's foot at low and high pressures. While there was not much difference in the kicking device at low and high pressures, we were able to see a considerable amount of deformation at low pressures of an actual soccer kick. The members of Team Makoti are Garrett Riley, Drew Tritton, Sarah Martin, and Marty Grizzle.
Dr. Hagelin, la presión a la 8 PSIG. Nailed it. Nailed it.
Said, "Hello, Dr. Hagelin. The pressure to 8 PSIG."
I didn't know how to say.